you know it's time to leave your job? Here are 6 key indicators that will help you make the decision. Number 5 is the dinner table test, which you will want to try. And number 6 is a huge aha moment that will give you clarity about what you really want. This is Self-Made Millennial. I'm Madeline Mann. I am a human resources leader and job search strategist who turns job seekers into job shoppers. I am credited with hundreds of thousands of job search success stories. You may have seen me on ABC News, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, and more. New videos on Thursdays. Be sure to subscribe. The first sign that it's time to leave your job is to notice your energy level at work and by the end of the day. Sure, we all have especially stressful weeks and maybe even a stressful month if it's peak season at work. But beyond that, if you're regularly drained at the end of the day, that is a huge glaring sign that this job is not for you. I've had 3 jobs that were dream job level in my career, and by the end of the workday, I was energized. I'd get out of work and I was ready to go hang out with coworkers or do my hobbies or build this video channel. I would have never had the energy to create this channel and ultimately own my own career coaching business had I not loved my jobs and been energized by them. Here's a quick testimony to see if your job is a good match. Do you get into a flow state several times a week? That's where essentially you lose track of time because you are so in the zone of focus doing your work. That's a great sign that your job could be a good fit. The second sign that you should ditch your job is if you are consistently passed up for promotions and compensation increases. This can be an indicator that you aren't valued by the company or they aren't willing to put money towards rewarding you and retaining the employees. Now, from working in HR, I have seen the underbelly of how people get raises and promotions. Here's the scoop. There may be some reasons why you haven't gotten a raise that are in your control. And heads up, human resources is not in control of who gets raises and promotions. Finance sets the budget, executives and managers determine who gets adjustments, and HR facilitates the process. Therefore, how leadership views your reputation is the most influential factor as to if you land a raise or not. I will link 2 videos to help you. One is about how to get a raise, and another is how to attract promotions for your entire career. I also have a course on LinkedIn Learning on how to ace your first 90 days on the job, which has a lot of tips on how to set you up for promotions. So I will link that as well. The third sign that it may be time to move on from your job is you have a bad boss. What makes a bad boss? Some signs include they always have to be right, they make you feel small, they cross boundaries with your time even after you push back, they bad talk others in the company to you, they have unnecessary urgency, they change their mind constantly, or they create an environment where you are afraid to speak up. These are all telltale signs of a lack of psychological safety. Google did a long-term research study called Project Aristotle, which found that psychological safety is the number 1 characteristic of a high-performing team. So if your boss is toxic, it's likely dragging down the team, your morale, and your pace of development. If you have a terrible manager, it's very difficult to get them removed from their position. I'm speaking as a former HR leader. It's usually not a battle worth fighting. So let me know in the comments if you agree or not, but it's better to change roles in the company or leave altogether. The fourth sign is a poor work culture. There are many ways that you can define a poor work culture, and it's normal for people to have different definitions. I often define a lousy company culture as typically low performers aren't managed properly or aren't terminated soon enough. Employees are terrified to fail. People are afraid to speak up. There is constant dysfunction and confusion, which is usually due to poor leadership and lack of vision. There's an emphasis on grinding, always being available, always looking busy, which leads to burnout, and consistent workplace gossip. You don't need all of those things to make it a poor work culture. Just a few will do. It's more like toxic workplace bingo, where if you have several of those in a row, you can shout bingo or your favorite expletive. My favorite expletive? Snapple caps. And what other toxic traits would you add to this bingo card? Now, the fifth sign is what I coined as the dinner table test. Here it goes. When you sit around the dinner table with your loved ones, or hypothetically imagine yourself doing so, and your loved ones ask you how your day was at work, for the majority of those meals, would you be effusive about your day, talking about how you're working on a really cool project, or you got this great compliment on your presentation, or your coworker said the funniest thing, or would you typically say something negative? Oh, my boss did that annoying thing again. Your project hit another dead end. Or you're so stressed and exhausted from the clients you served. If the majority of things you say about your job around the dinner table are negative, it's time to revise your resume and find a new job, which I will share a free resume workshop below that has an incredibly high success rate with helping you to land interviews. Because how do you want to show up for your loved ones each evening? Jaded, exhausted, fed up, or excited, jovial, elated? You want your job to pass the dinner table test. Am I right? Okay, so put in the comments, my job passed the dinner table test, if you say the majority of positive things about your job, or my job failed the dinner table test if you say mostly negative things about your job. Now, let's round it out with the sixth sign that it's time to leave your job. And that is you're watching videos about if you should quit your job. Well, my friend, I am sure this one applies to you. You've made it this far through this video, which I feel pretty dang special about. I'm glad we got this quality time together, and it means you're pretty invested in getting answers about what is your next career move. I think it's smart to look at what our actions tell us about ourselves. And your actions are saying there's likely a better opportunity out there. Well, buckaroo, let's find it. I will link my free job search masterclass, Upgrade Your Career, so that you can get the highly effective job search strategy that over 40,000 people have attended this class with such incredible success stories. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. You've got this. Wi-Fi high five.